It is Monday. It is 8 o'clock. It is the 22nd day of February 2021. Sun is behind me. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful but cold and windy spring morning. I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming, and it's Monday. That means it's time for the RPG news. Okay, so right now we are looking at the number one Who Cares story. Is that Dungeons & Dragons Hasbro Wizards of the Coast will be announcing a new title tomorrow. So this is a title that comes on February 23rd. We don't know what it is. Anybody have any ideas? I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. Other news. Regé Jean Page has joined the cast for the Dungeons & Dragons film. He is best known for his work in the Regency-era drama Bridgerton on Netflix. If you haven't watched Bridgerton yet, it is beautiful. It's weird, but it's beautiful. And he was also in the For the People and on the remake of Roots. Well, I still don't know much else about the project. And the previous Previous casting announcements are Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, and Justice Smith. Okay. I already talked about the quarterly reports for the first quarter / last quarter for sales and campaign percentages on the web and on the stuff like that. So still, D&D 5e is the number one selling game at 52%. It's also the number one game that's being used online. Call of Cthulhu is at 11%. And then we have uncategorized. We talked about that before, that between uncategorized and other, we're looking at almost 25% of the sales / games that are being used on Roll20. So a little bit more information on what the uncategorized is. So uncategorized or unlisted games, it says. So what is it? So if the listed games are Call of Cthulhu, Pathfinder, Warhammer, World of Darkness, Dungeons & Dragons, Starfinder, and Star Wars, then the uncategorized games could be Mutants and Masterminds, Powered by the Apocalypse, Earth Dawn, Tales from the Loop. I don't know. But technically, D&D is number one selling game. Call of Cthulhu is holding at number 2. It is number one selling game in Japan, because we know Japan loves tentacles. But the mystery is, what is this uncategorized that is eating up 14% of sales and almost 20% of online? It'll be interesting to know. We will have more research on that later on. Another preview has been released from EN Publishing for their upcoming Level Up 5e book. So here's the thing. If you release so many free previews of your product, is there any reason for me to buy it? I mean, we saw this with Tasha. Between the time Tasha was announced and Tasha came out, there was so many free previews of Tasha's content, didn't really need to buy Tasha. And there's so much free preview from EN Publishing's Level Up 5e World Book Game Book thing that they're coming up. If I put them all together now, I'd have a pretty good copy of the forthcoming product. Now, obviously, it's unedited, hasn't been play tested. All those things could be changed, but still, I don't know. It's a dangerous game. And speaking of games, Morpheus has announced the Spy Game, an action and espionage role-playing game using the 5e rules. Do we need a D&D 5th edition game that is spy-based? I guess 5e, I have to look into this, because I guess 5e is the new OGL. Somewhere in the SRD for 5e, it says that you can use it and I don't know how much percentage you have to give to Wizards of the Coast, but it still must fall under the open game in some way, because we're seeing almost every week another product that is not Wizards of the Coast Hasbro controlled using 5th edition rules. So, which means it has to basically follow the SRD in some format to get the 5e stamp. So it has to use a D20, higher the better. It has to use the D&D stats and armor class at least. And there's a few other things it has to use to get the be considered 5e compatible or OGL compatible or whatever it's called now. SRD compatible, I guess. I don't know. It just seems interesting because I have not seen anything that says 5e is open source, but apparently 5e is open source, so I don't know. We'll have to look into it. Let's continue. Hello, what does this mean? Computer? Sorry, the computer just freaked out for a sec. Where were we? All right, more news, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Paizio. Our buddies at Paizio has announced that PaiZioCon Online 2021 will be taking place over Memorial Day weekend. It will take place from May 28th to 31st and will feature nightly live stream games of Pathfinder Starfinder, seminars, an interview with Paizo designers, giveaways of Paizo stuff, blah, blah, blah. So, and Pathfinder Society stuff. Considering, an entire convention. God, I do need caffeine. Or I need to learn how to talk again. Entire convention dedicated to just one game. Interesting. We have some new information coming up from WizKids of new miniatures that are coming out. So we have the Starfinder Battles Planets of Peril re-release, which includes that cool-looking vehicle figure. That's reason enough to get it just for that cool truck. We also have, they're expanding the D&D Nozzles Marvelous Miniature lines of unpainted minis to include 2 packs of one with the low-level version and one with the high-level version of the same character for races, classes. I'd like to see more bad guys. And then we have the unbranded WizKids Deep Cuts lines, which are adding 2 new options, the Bounty Hunter and the Plague Doctor. Fantasy Flight Games has announced that they are re-returning with Legend of the Five Rings, the card game. And it will finally come to an end with the release of the Under the Fu Lang Shadow expansion. In addition to the final expansion, Fantasy Flights will end organized play of L5R. Since 2017, the game has produced a core box set, 3 premium expansions, 7 clan packs, and 5 cycles of dynasty packs, each containing 6 expansions packs. A role-playing game from Edge Studios will continue along with the novel series, at least going into 2022. Wow. Fantasy Flight Games, Legends of L5R card game coming to an end. I remember playing L5R with the guy who developed it at a hobby store in Van Nuys, me and Jim Latman playing L5R with the guy who developed it. I won. I think he let me win so I would buy the set. That must have been, well, it was before I moved and before Jim moved. So we're talking 1996, 1995. Wow. And now the L5R story is finally coming to an end. But then he always said it was a self-contained story and that unlike, Magic, which perpetually is never ending, or Hearthstone, it did have a beginning, middle, and end story that it was going to tell, and that, it eventually would come to an end. What will come after it? Who knows? But wow. That's interesting. Oh, another legal thing. Wizards of the Coast has won a legal dispute with ACD after Wizards of the Coast announced they would cease distribution to ACD in 2018. The ACD filed a suit citing the Wisconsin Fair Dealership law that Wizards of the Coast ended their contract without letting them know. And, whatever. What do you call it? The same thing they did with everybody else. They had a contract. They ceased and desist the contract without prior warning. The contract still stood. ACD took them to court, and this time, Wizards of the Coast won. Of course, ACD can appeal the decision, but right now ACD has to pay Wizards of the Coast a lot of money and can't carry their product anymore. You know, every time I read these, I just want to support Wizards of the Coast less and less. All right, Mofetus has teamed with Humble Bumble this week for Fallout RPG and 3D miniature bundles worth $300. So if you're interested in seeing the Fallout RPG universe and the Fallout miniature universe that Mofetus has done, this is up on Humble Bumble, and it's the 2D20 Mofetus Citizen. Oh no, it is not the Fallout RPG. This is just the miniature war game and associated campaigns based around the miniature war game and the forthcoming expansion. So you still have to get the actual role-playing game, but this has stuff for the miniature game and some stuff for the forthcoming role-playing game. Interesting. This benefits the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. This is also the final week on for the Black Library books that were up on Humble Bumble for Warhammer. This includes stuff for Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and Warhammer 40k. And the Asmodeus tabletop video game thing that was going on. So this is like tabletop games that can be converted to video games. Talisman being one of them. Like, there were a couple others. All right. So is that it? Yeah, that's pretty much it for the news. Nothing else really going on. The two big news, of course, being the numbers coming in for end of the last quarter, beginning of this quarter, with D&D holding it strong at number 1, Call of Cthulhu holding strong technically at number 2, and that Wizards of the Coast will be announcing a new book tomorrow. Since they already announced the mystery book, this is something different. Is this going to be another adventure? Is it going to be a campaign setting? Is it going to be another Magic the Gathering? Who knows? Who cares? Blah. I'm so just... I mean, if somebody said, Mike, you want to play 5th edition? I'd say, sure, because I just want to play. Mike, will you run 5th edition? I'll be like, sure, I'll run it at the store because it brings in money for the store. But God, I'm just so... I don't know. I just don't know. I guess I'm just a curmudgeon. If you appreciate this content and want to see more, comment down below. Or if you never want to see me talk again, comment down below. If you're going to unsubscribe though, let me know why. I can't fix it if you don't tell me what's broken. Please subscribe. Help me hit 500 subs by August 4th, and we'll do something crazy. Hit that notification. Share, like, subscribe, support, blah, blah, blah. Hit notification. Stuff I have to say. Thank you, Primetime Sports Game, for sponsoring the OG GM Adventures, and we'll talk to you later.